You know, we're the elite. We have the money. You're not going to have the future. You're going to die. I mean, this is what they write. This is what they say. This is what they put in eco-science. This is what they believe. You can't sell out to that. Sell out to something that's guaranteed to kill your children and grandchildren? I mean, we're that deep into this. I mean, would you line your grandchildren up? Let's say you're 25 years old today. You haven't had your grandchildren yet. But would you line them up and blow their heads off? If it gave you power now? No. Would you sell out to that? There is no selling out to this scientific dictatorship. There is only resisting it if you have any soul, any common sense, any care about the species. These people have decided we're a disease. They've decided to get rid of us. And so go to Infowars.com and support us. These are tools that will wake people up. They want to shut the web down. They want to shut down alternative films. They demonize me all over radio, television, and print media that I'm calling for violence when I'm not, because they want to arrest my butt. Because they're afraid of my films and the documentaries we carry and the work we do. Get the DVDs. Secondarily, it financially supports us. We need your support. We're not financed by the New World Order. We're financed by you. Make that decision. Do you want to support us? Well, obviously, what other decision can you make but to support us? Infowars.com to visit the online video, bookstore, T-shirt, ball caps. All of it is about spreading the word. Got all these new T-shirts that have come in, legalize freedom, you name it. New Don't Tread on Me shirts, all available at Infowars.com, or call toll-free 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. You can also write to us at P.O. Box 19549, Austin, Texas, 78760. Again, P.O. Box 19549, Austin, Texas, 78760. And you can also get Jesse Ventura's new book and the Secret Team by Fletcher Prouty discounted at Infowars.com as well. See, he read that book written by the head of Black Ops at the Pentagon, the liaison between the Pentagon and the CIA, about how the U.S. funded the communists and created all the enemies and staged everything. I mean, once you really realize that, you realize it's all a stinking fraud, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm done ranting now for the balance of the hour. We're going to open the phones up now at 1-800-259-9231 for your financial questions or your Iran questions, specifically for Bob Chapman of theinternationalforecaster.com. He joins us every Friday, and we really appreciate him coming on with us. There is so much to talk about with the economy that I want to go over. But first off, they admit in the Washington Post that this new banking regulatory reform is run by an Office of the Federal Reserve with unlimited power to take over any other institutions they want, and that this is literally a banking dictatorship. And separately, Greece is selling off their 600 islands to the very bankers that sold them the derivatives. I mean, this is just too much, Bob Chapman.
Well, you're absolutely correct. I have to say, I saw the piece that you did on Monday morning, and I thought it was terrific. I'll have it in tomorrow's International Forecaster regarding the false flag event known as the oil spill or oil slick or whatever you want to call it. And it's too bad you did it so early, because on Tuesday they released information that Vanguard, which is a group of mutual funds and money managers, had sold BP stock as well. And just happens that the president has his accounts with Vanguard. Did you hear that?
No. I mean, I knew a bunch of other funds were doing this. Break down. I mean, I know Vanguard's one of the biggest mutual funds out there. Tell us, Bob Chapman.
Well, very simply, they sold off their BP. And they, like the other two parties, Haywood, the CEO of BP, and Goldman Sachs, and who knows how many others we don't know about, they sold off. And it just so happens that the president has his money there, so there's no such thing as coincidences. So I would say, in all probability, they got a call, and someone said to them, look, you don't want to own this stock anymore, get out of it. Don't ask any questions.
And we can't have the federal government investigate this. Record stock dumping by the BP CEO the week before, record stock dumping in BP by Goldman Sachs, that the year before the chairman of Goldman Sachs had also been the co-chair of BP. That's how heavily invested they are in an ownership position, one of the main ownership positions in BP. And I've seen a bunch of other mutual funds that dumped the week before, and now Vanguard that holds the presidents. Bob, that is amazing.
Well, those coincidences that happen. You know, Colonel Prouty was talking about that, as Jesse just told us. You know, I learned when I was in counterintelligence, there are no coincidences. And Jesse just bore that out. And, of course, Mr. Prouty did as well, Colonel Prouty. And it just so happens I was on doing an interview this morning again in Athens, which is going to be in a public television program. And I spoke with the reporter, the host, whatever you would call it, about the sale of the islands. And what is it, Mykonos, I think is the key one they want to sell first. And I went through and discussed what I think about the Greek situation, and I gave them a list of Bilderbergers from the manufacturing, banking, bureaucrats, politicians in Greece who have attended these meetings, which they didn't have. And I told them what these people are up to. And I also told them specifically, do not allow the government to sell off anything. And, of course, I told them about Pompidou's background as a Bilderberger and as an Illuminist. And that'll be all over Greece and all over many other countries as well. But the bottom line here is if we really want to hurt the Illuminists in Europe, and worldwide for that matter, what we've got to do is get Greece to default on their debt, leave the euro, go back to the drachma, and clean up their act, like cut governmental expenses 30%, make the rich pay their taxes, and don't increase taxes, lower them.
Because as Kennedy knows, they cut taxes by 50% and tax receipts double. Just like California's raised taxes and was in the L.A. Times a few weeks ago. Oh, our money, tax receipts went down when we raised taxes. They want to drive us into bankruptcy.
That's right. And so that was the advice I gave them. And I told them if Greece does that, the other four, P-I-I-G-S, known as pigs, which are Ireland, Spain, Italy, and Portugal, they'll do the same thing. And can you imagine the disruption that's going to cause? All the banks who are holding the bonds are going to go under. We're talking Deutsche Bank, Hypo Bank, and the governments are going to, suffer grievously who are holding bonds as well in those countries, like Germany and France and the Netherlands and Austria and Belgium. And so the disruption will be enormous. And I hope they go ahead and do it, and I hope everybody in Greece watches the program, because there's nobody out there saying what you and I are saying, but a handful of us. And reflecting back to what you were talking about earlier, about us affecting people in the way they think and telling them what's outside that box, Alex, this is spreading all over the world, and you know that, but I had to say it, because we're really affecting people in foreign countries.
Oh, I know. I mean, I can get off a fishing boat in Honduras, and people in bare feet are running up saying, Alex Jones, Alex Jones. I mean, it's the same thing with all the Patriot leaders. It's so amazing. That's why there's a giant government demonization campaign of myself, yourself, and others, and they have COINTELPRO posing as patriots that attack us 24/7. That's the certification that our work is so important. I mean, look at the fruits of what we've done. Look at what we cover. We're just calling for liberty and freedom and the Republic and the Second Amendment and private property. Is that bad? We'll be back with Bob Chapman. Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full-acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com. Or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com. The Fall of America and the Western World is an all-new 10-hour documentary and survival guide rolled into one. In this film, you will see the reasons why our government is failing and what you can do to prepare. Featuring Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, Joseph Farah, David Icke, Naomi Wolf, G. Edward Griffin, Doug McIntyre, Mark Crispin Miller, Mickey Z, Doug Casey, David McElhaney, and myself, Alex Jones. Protect yourself and get